नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल दोस्तों। स्वागत है आपका एक बार फिर से हमारे YouTube चैनल ब्रास फ्यूजन्स पर, जहां आज हम आपके लिए लेकर आए हैं एक नया लेसन।
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, there is one more technical thing which I would, last time also. So, attendance, again, you won't leave without taking my attendance even in the, sheet. So that because sometimes, people are seeing this session only for 2 minutes. Okay, so I will scroll and I will see, then only you will be leaving, right? Yes, so last class we discussed about the company, the nature, like whether it is an artificial person, then juristic person, legal person. Then what is the other aspects which we have discussed last class? Any one of you, please.
Difference between the corporation and company, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. Difference between corporation and company, right? So we are now discussing the preliminary aspects of the companies. Okay, so today we will discuss the history or how the company law evolved. Just a basic
Check the time
understanding
of
of
your mic when not in use.
I'm not audible. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah. So today we will be discussing the evolution. So now you know the basic difference between the corporation and a company. Then section 2 subclause 20 which defines the company. Then section 2 subclause 11, it's also known as the body corporate. And let us see how it has evolved. So in the initially the Britishers ruled India. How they got the entry in India? It is through the market trade. British East India Company was established, right? So you can see that how the corporates or how the companies control our day-to-day life. Now also the same scenario. The times have changed, and it's just like the old wine in the new bottle. But still, the market power, unforeseen market power, are ruling all of us, and there is no other option for us. My voice is breaking.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So maybe from your end, check it. Okay. So what I would say is that much is the importance of the company. So it is, if you see in 1844. Okay. So 1844 in England. So we are following the common law principles. I will not, of course, Arthashastra in the 4th century BC. Arthashastra mentions about the corporations and all, but it is not like what we are right now having the companies and all. It is reference. Of course, reference is always we can find whatever we are dealing with now. If we do the research, we can find in our in all, even in the religion, all the religious, even in the Islam, you can find, even in the Islam or any Hindu religion, any religion also, you can find the reference to the trade. So here they are not referring to the concept of company, but they are referring to the concept of trade. Okay, exchange of goods or services. So that's how the thing started, because that's the lifeblood. So the first, the codification, I will use the word of codification. The codification of the companies or framing of the rules and regulations or the legal backup started in England in the year 1844. I am referring to the England or the common law because that's from where we also inherited our Companies Act. So England in 1844, the first Joint Stock Companies Act, that was passed, and it was incorporated by registration without obtaining the royal charter. So what it means, a special, so earlier if anybody wants to do any activities like, through the way of company, what they are supposed to do, they should obtain the royal charter, that is, they should get the permission from the king or the queen. But after that, in 1844, the Joint Stock Companies Act was passed, and under this act, with the registration, without obtaining the royal charter, because it is a special act of parliament, the companies can get incorporated. So remember the year of 1844 in England, Joint Stock Companies Act. Then they were like, the incorporation also, if you see, it is the distinct. So incorporation is the distinct feature which will determine the rights and liabilities of members. So this is important because incorporation. So now also the same thing is following. If a company wants to get its separate entity, if you say that it is a corporation or if it is a company, okay, then the legal registration is mandatory. Incorporation is the feature which distinct or determine it as a person, separate person. So that also was there in Joint Stock Companies Act. Then after that, in East India Company was also there in 16th century, right, 1600, and charter companies of Europe. Then in between, in 1720, there is a reference to the Bubbles Act. You can see I will prepare the slides from the from the next class. So now you can see the chat box for the meanwhile. The Bubble Act of 1720. Okay, so this Bubble Act of 1720 was also there, which dealt with the evolutionary part of the companies. And later on in India, the Companies Act. So Companies Act in India started or got its codification in the year 1850. In the year 1850, the Indian Companies Act, and it is modeled on the England 1844 Act, first which I referred, 1844 Act. Based on that England Joint Stock Companies Act, India also in 1850, the Indian Companies Act was framed. But however, again in 1913, in line with the Cohen, so there is one committee, so you can read this. It is available in the net. I will try to find and share with you. These are all for the reference. Cohen Committee of England. Okay, so Cohen Committee of England. Based on that, the central government appointed the 12-member company. 12-member to study the how the companies act or how the company legislation can be, because after 1947 the things are changing now. So prior to 1947, it was the Britishers Act, that is 1850 modeled, and 1913, and all these were according to the British, they were ruling. And later on, even after getting the freedom, so of course all the laws, you can see everything was changing that time. So similarly, in 1915, the central government appointed the committee under the chairmanship of C.H. Baba. Those who are from the economic background might have heard his name. He is a very famous economist. He has contributed a lot of theories in the economics, and especially in the banking area. And also under his chairmanship, in 1950, the central government appointed, and this is similar in lines with the Cohen Committee of England. So Cohen comes, always you can see any aspect, always the committees are appointed to study, review, and submit the report. What is the best suited aspects that can be incorporated? So similarly, in tune with the Cohen Committee in India, C.H. Baba Committee was appointed, and they submitted the report in the year 1952. So the submission has taken place in the year 1952. And after that, so this is how we all know, I know that you all will be knowing the 1956 Companies Act, right? Now I'm just coming how that 1956 has, accepted. So 1952, C.H. Baba, they submitted the report. Then a bill was, the central government brought the bill on 1953. So you can see how many years, after 1 year, almost 1 year, in April 1952, they submitted the report. And in 1953, they submitted the, central government brought the bill. And after that, the parliament appointed the Joint Parliamentary Committee in May 1954. And again, the study, they, again, 1954, again, the things were modified. And ultimately, based on the suggestions and the modifications that has been received, in 1955, the Companies Act has passed. However, it got the president asset on 18th January. So January 18, 1956. Okay, so that is how the 1956 Act was incorporated. So this is only for the basic understanding. So even now, the Companies Act, there are a lot of changes has happened. But still, the basic or the origin is from the England. We are following the same line or the same pattern that were followed there. And just for the basic understanding again, the 1956 Act. What were the objectives of 1956 Act? And before, there is the modern company law in India. That is how, again, the Arthashastra, the 4th century BC, there is a reference with regard to the existence of corporation in Arthashastra, because Arthashastra relates to the economic laws. So economic laws means economic. There were economy. That's why that particular text is there. And however, the modern or the modern form has, and not only that, why the East India Company also came, because India was having the full of opportunities for the trading, and people were not knowing the marketing technologies. They were still, that is what is happening. Marketing to aata nahi hai na, to marketing jo hai, jinka marketing acha hai, then they will flourish. So they have taken this opportunity to come here and trade, and after that they try to make the things in a very different manner, so that world will come to know about it. And one more aspect is that earlier what was happening was that the management was left with few trustees. So there was no separation of ownership and management. But now, as I told you, now in the company, there is a separation of ownership and the management, right? And also there is no proper rules. So they used to have just like, family oriented or family run business. So in the family run business, other people won't have much say. So what happened was that it gave the chance for the fraudulent promoters to exploit the public money. So once the company goes into the market, they use the public money. देखो, अगर आपका अपना खजाना है तो आपकी मर्जी से कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर एक भी रुपये बाहर का किसी बंदे का है, then you have the responsibility, right? So that is why there is, when company जो है, हम कहते हैं ना कि fundamental rights and all, but at the same time when the public money are involved, and if the company is at the verge of dissolution, or if it is getting to extinct, what about the public who had relied or faith on it? उनका भी पैसे जाता है ना, देखो कितना बुरा हाल हो जाता है लोगों का. तो ये जो fraudulent promoters है, they used to exploit the public money. And apart from that, another aspect was that there were spurious companies that were created. They were only formed, जैसे कि अभी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग सब होता है ना, तो द कंपनीज आर फॉर्म्ड ओनली इन द चार्टर, मतलब पेपर में सब होता है लेकिन असली में नहीं होता है. तो व्हाट विल हैपन, दे विल लॉस फॉर द इन्वेस्टर. सो व्हाटएवर द पब्लिक हैज इन्वेस्टेड, दे विल लूज देयर अमाउंट दैट हैज बीन मेड. सो दीज ऑल were one of the factors why they felt there was a need. Of course, money laundering and all came at this stage only. So they are trying to modify the same. So coming back to the objectives of the Companies Act of 1956, first was to sustain trust. Okay, to have or to sustain the trust and faith of the shareholders. Okay, so this is the first objective, to sustain trust and faith of shareholders, because they are the people who are contributing. So the shareholders are also, we can't say the owners, the shareholders are the main important component. So their trust, the trust and the faith of the shareholders are important. So 1956 legislation main objective was to sustain trust and faith of the shareholders. Secondly, of course, to preserve and protect the rights of the shareholders. So now you can see nowhere the public has brought into picture now. So everything was focused first relating to the shareholders. So trust, faith, then protect and preserve the rights of the shareholders. Then, of course, to make the control or the drastic control over the activities of the company. So from the family-oriented business to control, that is the management need to get. So of course what happens is that it is only in the theory. Okay, theory में ये सब हम पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन practically क्या होता है कि जिसने कंपनी बनाई है और जिनका है उन्हीं का बंदे होते हैं मैनेजमेंट में भी. So but it is very difficult to differentiate, even though now we have the concept of independent directors has been brought in. These are all, practically the different picture is seen, and this picture we are realizing at the time of the insolvency, bankruptcy and other features when they are facing. So till that time we think that everything is black and white, but however it is not the scene. Then another aspect is that to make the regulation of an effective annual meeting, that is meeting of the shareholders, meeting of the creditors. So to have an effective way of managing the meetings of the company. Then the another objective of 1956 Act was the investment of general public. So whatever the general public invest, that need to be used for the development of the society and social welfare. So here comes the importance of bringing the social welfare measures. But remember, the CSR, the corporate social responsibility principle, was not part of the 1956 legislation. So just again to brush up, first objective was to trust, that is sustain the trust, faith of the shareholders. Then to protect and preserve the rights of the shareholders. Then to make the drastic control over all the activities of the company. Then to make regulation of an effective annual general meetings. Then investment of the general public should be used for the development of society and social welfare. So this was the brief objectives of 1956. So you can see this till 2013, 1956 legislation was dealt for the management of the companies. So the companies were managed with the help of 1956. So whatever was there, that was followed. But lot of scams has been seen. Then the companies, of course, voluntary, कोई तो देश के लिए कुछ करते नहीं थे, है ना, सब अपना अपना profit and all this were there. So later on, and of course the directors were having the main say, not an outsider. Then minorities were also not given that much of consideration. Then they found it is time that there is a need for change, because after 1999 globalization has also affected. So accordingly the way the company functions has also changed. Then the investment that the company need to be seen has also changed. So with all these things, 2000 it was felt that there is a need to have a separate, it is not that amendment. Earlier 1956 Act का तो बहुत सारा amendments तो आता रहता था, लेकिन फिर लगा कि, and it was very huge, मतलब बहुत सारे उसमें provisions थे, तो फिर it felt that there is a need to have a different, of course ऐसे नहीं कि पूरा major change हुआ है उसमें, लेकिन of course drastic change तो हुआ है 1956 से 2013 में. So now let us see the features of the Companies Act of 2013. first change or the first feature of 2013 Act is the increased ambit. The reach of 2013 Act was increased. Like, it includes the body corporate.
Stock exchange.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, Chandan, you want to say something?
No, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So what they wanted to, if anybody want to say something, please let me know. Okay. So the increased ambit. So to one aspect I will tell you, and others, if any one of you can also tell. So first was the increased ambit because it include the body corporate, statutory bodies incorporated in other statutes. So it has specifically mentioned, as we have discussed section 2 sub clause 11, they specifically mentioned about the body corporate. But I don't think that in 1956 Act you will find the reference of this body corporate as such. So the statutory bodies here, it means the RBI and all. So they were given the wider coverage. So 2013 जो legislation है उनका wider coverage हो गया. दूसरा जो है deregulation. You know, this is another aspect which you should remember. Always, if everything is with the rule, then regulations, it is fine, rule of law is good, but sometimes what is required is that there is a need for having a self-regulation. Always Austin's theory of positive law is not effective unless and until you yourself decides to have your own self-regulation. You should be honest yourself. It's not the matter that you should show you are good to somebody else. You should be within yourself, you should have. So that is what the self-regulation. So because what is happening, company का आप accounts देखो, जो chartered accountants से उनको ज़्यादा पता होगा, तो उनका accounts हमेशा बहुत neat and clean होता है, हमेशा profit दिखता होगा, लेकिन सही में बहुत सारा loss में होगा, या फिर जो investment यहाँ से वहाँ, and there won't be any track. So if you just see the balance sheet of a company, you will find that it is very fine, it is very fantastic, it is having huge profit, it's a profit making, but unfortunately it may not be the same. So what happens is that the present 2013 has given importance even for the greater degree of self-regulation. And every time the interference of the central government, or every time देखो government का जो interference होता है, तो एक कागज भी अगर एक permission चाहिए तो government का approval. So every time then government का approval many a times happens with the corruption भी होता है बीच में, है ना, ये सब रहता है, तो red tapeism होता है. So all these things, so every time 1956 Act, more of the government interference was there. So 2013 tried to remove the same. So greater degree of self-regulation was provided. This is the important feature of 2013, and reduced the central government interference over the internal corporate processes. Okay, so internal corporate process jo hai, and greater reliance on the shareholder democracy. So here, for the first time, the democratic principle jo hai, shareholder democracy, that was introduced in the 2013 Act. So this is important, that the corporate shareholder democracy, we can term it, shareholder democracy was introduced in the 2013 legislation, and the lesser interference from the part of the central government won't interfere. Then another aspect was that the government approval related to the third party transactions, all these were done away. So now the full power is given to the shareholders. So shareholders, then including the minority shareholders, the concept of class action rights, class action suit, so all these were provided. That means आप अपने वही मतलब अभी जो हम कहते हैं कि आत्मनिर्भर आया हुआ है, so already 2013 legislation was आत्मनिर्भर, that is company, you yourself self-regulate, you be yourself, and then as a shareholders, state will not interfere, I mean the central government will not interfere, you can manage, and you come up. So that was the feature of 2013. Then another was to keep the balance of interest between the industry and investors. So managing or balancing the difference interest of the industry and investors, whoever is investing it, they should also have a say, and the of course the objective of the industry as well. Then after that, the flexible regime, that is flexibility was there. Then the safeguard the interest of the investors. So that is why the interest of, so to make a balancing, investors की भी protection हो या फिर industry का भी, दोनों भी. Then what are the remedies? And this 2013 legislation also provided remedies. What are those? One is the shareholders and depositors can file a class action suit. This is important. So the concept of class action suit, okay, CLASS, class action suit, you can see in the chat box. So class action suit can be filed by the shareholders and depositors. Then second remedy that is available under 2013 Act is the secured creditors can approach the tribunal for declaring the company as a sick company. Now this provision has been changed because now it is the Insolvency Corporation, that is Insolvency Board of India. So now the sick industrial legislation has been repealed, and in that place we got the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. So the secured creditor, now the secured creditor ambit has been widened now. So even the buyers of the residential flats, they are also approved under they were not secured creditor earlier, but they were brought under the purview of operational creditors under the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. Then another aspect is that the government and the statutory authority can apply for reopening the accounts of the company. So earlier, पहले कैसा था 1956 Act में, जब accounts पूरा wind up हो जाता है, मतलब after the audit and if it is cleared, so पुराना accounts कभी reopen नहीं हो जाता. लेकिन अब क्या है, government को authority है या statutory authority here signifies the income tax. जब कभी भी अगर उनको कोई शक हो जाता है तो कंपनी अकाउंट्स रीओपन करके they can investigate. Then the fourth feature is that, or the fourth remedies, I'm just speaking about the remedies that is provided under 2013. Any person, so here it is anybody, any person can make an application to the tribunal for investigation into the affairs of the company. So if you have any suspicion regarding the operation of the company, then you can file for investigation, how the company functions. So that is also provided. Then members can apply to the tribunal for the removal of an auditor. So again, we'll be discussing the difference between a member and a shareholder. So here the members can apply to the tribunal for the removal of an auditor. Then provisions to sue financial advisors, merchant bankers, law firms, and other people connected to the company as advisors. So earlier the financial advisor, so if anybody gives advice, always advice is given free, है ना, फ्री में एडवाइस देते हैं सारे लोग, मुफ्त में बहुत कुछ ऐसे एडवाइस देते रहते हैं. अब क्या है, वो एडवाइस के भरोसे पर अगर किसी ने कुछ किया और उससे उनको नुकसान हो रहा है, फिर आपका फ्री एडवाइस भी चार्जेबल हो जाएगा. Here, so that is what the 2013, that is the financial advisors के अगेंस्ट आप केस फाइल कर सकती हो, मर्चेंट बैंकर्स के अगेन, लॉ फर्म्स के अगेन, और जो भी इसके कंपनी के कनेक्टेड थे, जिनके भरोसे पर किसी ने इन्वेस्ट किया है, then they becomes liable. Of course, criminal liability was there, but now the 2019 में जो है दोबारा amendment होने वाला है उसमें, तो अभी तो पेंडिंग है, तो उसमें जो है क्रिमिनल लाइबिलिटी थोड़ा सा दोबारा कम करने के लिए सोच रहे. लेकिन 2013 का जब आया उसके बाद जो भी अमेंडमेंट्स आया था, इट वाज वेरी क्रिमिनल टाइप ऑफ क्रिमिनलिटी वाज मोर, बट नाउ अगेन द गवर्नमेंट इज rethinking to make the criminality principle lesser. Then flexibility, that is it seeks to segregate the procedural aspect from the substantive aspect. So this is how the feature of 2013 signifies. So just to have a quick view, so 1950, a comparison of the 1956 Act and the 2013 Act signifies that 2013 is based on the principle of democracy, shareholder democracy, and lesser interference or lesser regulation from the part of the central government. And it is given the full freedom for the shareholders and the associated person to run the company on their self-regulation basis. And if anything happens, then of course the provisions are there that class action can be sued, filed. Then the statutory authority can reopen the accounts and like this. So if you see, a modern form of Companies Act is right now we are having, and the next aspects of the different types of companies and all we will discuss in the next class. Any doubts you can ask me.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you talk about the C company. What is the criteria to declare a company as a C company?
SIC company, the declaration. So now the legislation. So if you are not able to repay the debts, then you will approach the concerned authority. Earlier, you have that legislation, but now it is the insolvency. So earlier, 1 lakh rupees was there, but now in 2020 they have come to 1 crore. So if you are this much of 1 crore liability is there, and if you are not in a position to repay it, and you need some time or to relieve, then you approach the authorities, and then either you will be. देखो अगर कोई सिक है तो उनको कोई नुकसान नहीं करेगा ना, सिक लीव दे देते हैं कि नहीं, राइट? इसीलिए इसी तरह से कंपनी को भी they will say that no action can be taken against the company, and then the company need to work out to repay the debts that they have taken.
Okay, ma'am.
Anything
Okay,
else?
ma'am. I had a question, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Can I ask? Yes. So you said that there is a concept of class action suits which has been presented after 2013. Was there a similar concept before 2013 in which a remedy was given to shareholders?
Class action, a single shareholder, that is for on behalf of all the shareholders, a single shareholder cannot represent. So that provision was not there to my understanding in 1956 legislation.
Okay, so class action is basically one person can represent other people.
Yeah, for all the shareholders. I will explain the class action suit in detail with the provision. Okay. Then let me take your attendance. Shivam Khanna, Shivani Goel, Ritu.
Present, ma'am.
Ritu is present?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, I'm present.
Okay. Yash Yadav.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Himanshu.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Anuj.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Jasleen.
Yes, ma'am.
Ankur.
Yes, ma'am.
Shreyas. Ayushi.
Present, ma'am.
Yes.
Present,
Noted.
ma'am, Ayush.
Yes, noted. Manavika.
Present, ma'am.
Yes, noted. Prashant Kumar. Prashant Kumar has not attended single class. Anand Kumar Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Smriti.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Akanksha Goyal. Himanshu. 115. Present? Okay. Anupam? Anupam?
Attendance, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes. Anupam, this is your
ma'am.
first class.
हिमांशु मेरी attendance होगी मैम?
हाँ हो गई 150 ना?
Thank you, ma'am.
हाँ.
जी मैम.
अच्छा अनुपम, ये आज का आपका पहला क्लास है ना?
No, ma'am. It's my second class.
सेकेंड क्लास, लेकिन तो आपका फर्स्ट क्लास शो कर रहा है.
नहीं मैम, मैंने 2 क्लास लिए हैं.
अच्छा. मनोरमा?
Yes, ma'am.
अनिमेश?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. अजय कुमार?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. सिद्धार्थ भारद्वाज? कार्तिक?
Present, ma'am.
राहुल?
Ma'am, Rahul, roll number 235.
Yes, 235. Rahul Kaushik. Simran?
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Archana? Vishwajit?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Atul Singh?
Present, ma'am.
Ayush?
Present, ma'am.
Bhanu? Abhishek?
Present,
244.
ma'am. Bhanu.
Yes, Bhanu, I mark you. Abhishek?
Present, ma'am.
Abhishek, 244 है आपका, नहीं ना? You are Abhishek Tanwar.
Ma'am, yes,
Yes.
yes. Yes, yes, ma'am.
244 है आपका.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. आपका पहला क्लास है ना आज?
Ma'am, yes, yes.
ठीक है,
It's my
ठीक
first
है.
class.
ओके. योगेश? तफसीर?
Present, ma'am.
यस. शशि रंजन?
Present, ma'am. Sasi.
Yeah. Victor? Pradeep Yadav?
Present, ma'am. Pradeep Yadav.
Yeah, noted. Maria?
Present, ma'am.
Yeah, noted. Aditya Goswami? 335. Ayush Yadav?
Present, ma'am.
336.
Present,
Okay,
ma'am.
Ayush, yeah, Ayush is okay. Chandan Kumar?
Present, ma'am.
Yeah, noted. Ayush Kumar?
Yes, ma'am.
Noted. Amit Kumar?
Ayush Kumar.
Ayush Kumar noted. 338 ना?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, नोट किया. अमित कुमार?
प्रेजेंट मैम 419.
यस, 419. आकाश?
दोस्तों, अगर आपको आज का लेसन पसंद आया हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करें. इसी के साथ अगर आपने अभी तक हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सब्सक्राइब के बटन पर क्लिक करिए और बेल आइकन दबाना ना भूलें ताकि आपको एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड नए नए अपडेट्स मिलते रहें. और अधिक जानकारी पाने के लिए आप हमारे फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम पेज से भी जुड़ सकते हैं जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दिया गया है. धन्यवाद.